Peace, brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Sadiki Baye, and I'd like to thank you once again for listening to my videos in reference to the diets in the Bible compared to the diets that we have today. And once again, you'll see that there's a vast difference. We had many, many falls through our journey. And I would like to thank you once again for blessing me to enter into your house of prayer, in order to share with you what the Creator and the ancestors has blessed me with, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I'd like to continue today with the second chapter of Daniel. But first, we must understand that we must um, know that we need a foundation, and the foundation to all knowledge is the cause and the effect. We have to know the reasons and the whys of things. But unfortunately, we want to go right from the start and the finish at the same time. But that's not how I roll. I am an instructor, and I give you direction and guidance on how to start and to finish. So, with that in mind, brothers and sisters, I like to also let you know that the purpose of food, once again, and the purpose of food is number one, is to feed your soul slash mind. Number two is to strengthen your spirit. Number three is to renew your body. And that's spirit, mind, and body. And spirit, mind, and body equals the Creator. That's balance. Without balance, there's no way you could be spiritual. Without your mind, you can't be spiritual, and your physical won't be right either. Everything is about the mind. Everything is mind. That's why God gave man, which means mind, dominion over everything he created. But unfortunately, we were disobedient, and stiff necked and wanted to do our own thing, and we threw everything off. That's why originally it says, let the food from the tree be your meat, not the animals. Let the vegetables be it builds your body. The fruit gives you nutrients. It stimulates the body. It energizes the body. The vegetable builds the body, and the herbs heals the body. That's the pyramid. And in the middle is the eye of the Creator, the third eye, which is complete. And we need to get back to the original way of life. We got to go Sankofa, because somebody, misled, misguided, misdirected us. And we must find our way back to our reality. And I'm going to do all I can to contribute to that. So with that in mind, brothers and sisters, let's start from, first of all, we got to know what Daniel means. Daniel is a common name. It's a surname. It comes from the Hebrew origin, which means God is my judge. So whoever's name is Daniel, your nature is based on God is my judge, because name means nature. So be careful what you give yourself, what name you call yourself, because it could be a curse word. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. It's all according to what it means. That's all that matters. So we have to get back to our original nature, which is godly. But we have to connect with the ancestors. So we are the ancestors in the physical, but we must connect with the ancestors in the spiritual. So we're going to go head on and get busy and get into the second chapter of Daniel. And get some meaning and some purpose and some direction to our lives, instead of feeling our way through life based on emotions. That's the very thing got us in trouble, and we still relying on it. That's a sign of insanity. It is what it is. And that applies to me too. So let's get busy and let's get back into Daniel, which Daniel was a warrior. Daniel is our ancestor. And my thing is this: it doesn't matter to me whether it was really a Daniel or not. Because any of us can be a Daniel according to its nature, which means God is my judge. So let's get down to chapter 2 of Daniel. Let me shine some light on this chapter here so that we can be accurate. This is not coming uh, from Sadiki, it's coming through Sadiki. So, chapter 2. Open up your Bibles and let's get to chapter 2 of Daniel. We had chapter 1. Review my video of last week and you'll see what we went through in chapter 1. Now, once again, you see these beautiful crowns, which I was blessed with from Queen Mother Harriet Victoria Atkinson, H. Victoria Atkinson, Hartgrove, and we have to make sure, and she gave me about 50 of them. She did it with her own hands. I've been blessed with her energy, her spirit, and when the two come together, wow, that's powerful. That's power. That's power. And so with that in mind, let's go to chapter 2 of Daniel. And what does chapter 2 say? Chapter 2, it says, and in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. He couldn't sleep. He was worried. So, chapter 2, it says, then the king commanded to call the magicians, the astrologers, and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. Now stick with me now. You have to have an open mind and a flexible mind in order to receive the blessings that I'm going to share with you. Let's go to verse 3. Verse 3 says, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and the spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king of Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dreams, and we will show the interpretation. Now we're going to see if they interpreted it correctly. In number 5, it says, the king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream and interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces. Wow. And your houses shall be made a dunghill. You know what a dunghill is? Full of she-it. Full of she-it. That's a dunghill. So we don't want that now because all she-it stinks. So number 6, it says, but if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, therefore ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. So the king said, hey, if you don't interpret my dream, you are done. So we have to understand that the king has the power to do whatever. So let's go to number 7. They answered again and said, Let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. I know that I'm close sometimes. I'm right there in your face, but it's all good. I want you to feel me. Number 8, the king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, that you would gain the time, because ye see that this thing is gone from me. In other words, the king was puzzled. So he needed somebody to interpret that for him. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one degree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore, tell me that dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. And number 10, the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, There is a man upon the earth, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore, there is no king, lord, nor ruler that asks such things at any magician, astrologer, and Chaldean. In other words, they were saying that no one can interpret that. But we're going to see if that's true. Number 11, and it is a rare thing that the king required, and there's none other that can show it before the king, except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. In other words, he's talking about the ancestors. The ancestors. So if we are the ancestors in the physical, and if we are connected to the spiritual ancestors, we have answers. Because our Father God, he gives us swift answers. Swift wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, let's go to 12. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. Now we're in Babylon now. Babylon ain't no joke. Babylon is a whole bunch of people babbling. They ain't hearing each other. They all over the place. Isn't that the same thing that's going on today? We're not even hearing each other. And number 13. And the decree went forth that the wise men shall be slain, and they sought David and his fellows to be slain. Oh, he seek David. Now we're going to see what happens here. Then David answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guards, the captains of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men to Babylon. Number 13, he answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, Why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Let's see what happens with old brother Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king his interpretation. Number 17, then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mashiel, I'm sorry, and Ariah, Ariah, Azariah, his companions. Excuse me for mispronouncing their names, but these three companions of Daniel, they were teenagers. They were young brothers, but Daniel was an elder. So they were learning from Daniel. And number 18, that they would desire mercy of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Number 19, then was the secret revealed unto David in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. In other words, he tapped into his God. Number 20, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Wow, Daniel was a blessed man. It was no joke. And it says, and he changed the times and the seasons. It was God. He removed his kings and set it up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. Whoo! Oh my goodness. That's up there. That's up there. Number 22, he revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. Wow, the light dwelleth with him, the truth dwelleth with him. And that's why I always, make the statement, keep your lights on and keep them bright at all times. You will always see what's in the dark. Keep your lights on. And number 21, I thank thee and praise thee, O thy God of my fathers, who has given the wisdom and might, and hath made known unto me now what we desire of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. Wow. Number 24, therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Daniel said, hey, bring them to me. I'll let you know what's up, because my God is all that. Number 23, then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said thus unto the king, I have found a man of the captives of Judah, that will make known unto the king the interpretation. Judah is the tribe of us. We are from the tribe of Judah, black folks. We are all that. Everybody's after the tribe of Judah, because they know we are the ones. Number 26, the king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? And Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king? But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. Okay, now 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what shall come to pass hereafter, and he that revealeth secrets maketh known to what shall come to pass. God is a great God. He's revealing to Daniel to tell the king what his dream is all about. So it says in 30, but as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than was living, any living. But for there, I'm looking for the light there. It's kind of, the light is not that bright here. So what I need to do is to take my time and get it right, because I want to make sure that you get it. But for thou sake, thou shalt make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of the heart. Thou, O king, sawest was behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness and excellence stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of gold, his breasts and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Now, again, I'm trying to get some light in here. The light is not that bright, but I'm going to fight my way through this because I want to give you this message. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carrieth them away, that no place was found for them. And the saying that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Now, chaff is sort of like corn. Let's say the things that holds the corn, which is the what do you call it? The parts that that holds the corn. That it's like the husk of the corn. So that's what the chaff is. It holds the seeds. Don't forget that corn are seeds. Number 36, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the God of the heavens have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And whatsoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given unto thy hand. Give you control. And hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art the head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee. This is the interpretation here. And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdued all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in many pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the iron and foes part of see the light is kind of dim in here. I apologize for that, to break up the flow. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay in the kingdom, shall be partly wrong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with murky clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to the other, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So that means that there be kingdoms, but they won't mix with the righteous. They won't mix. And in the days of these kings shall God of the heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to another people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it breaks in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel. Daniel interpreted his dream and commanded that they shall offer an oblation and sweet odors unto him. And so they're going to celebrate Daniel. They're going to lift him up. And number 17, it said, the king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods. God of gods. Well, who's the gods? The gods are the righteous-minded people, like Daniel, like you can be. Like it's in us, but we can bring it out if we are willing to go through the process. And the God of gods, and the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon. Wow. And chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Wow. Daniel was not, these Hebrews were not accepted as wise people. But Daniel interpreted the king's dream. See, if you're right, God will give you swift answers. You can't fool energy. This is similar to the story of Joseph. When Joseph became second in command of Egypt, God would bless you to be able to put in those positions if you're right. We have to be right, righteous-minded people. Like in this system here, be ye in this world, but not of it. Brothers and sisters, we have to be able to enjoy the journey, but we must understand the process of the journey so that we'll know when to hold and know when to fold. So Daniel was a bad boy. Daniel had a mindset that God is his judge. And we need to transform our minds into that, to the nature of Daniel. So Daniel did not feed into the nature of the king and Babylon. He stayed within his mind. God blessed him to interpret everything, and because of that, the king put him in second in command. That's a beautiful thing. And I bear witness that God is the greatest. Doesn't matter what you call it, God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Jesus. It doesn't matter what you call them. It's the same energy. We're arguing over semantics. We got to be careful with that. We are so religious, we forgot to be spiritual. We are all that. If I'm a child of God, then God is the God of the gods. God is the gods of me, of you, of us. And we're going to continue next time because these chapters are long. We're going to get into chapter 3. Please be patient and put all the pieces together so that you can see the picture that God is the greatest. And we are the children of God, so we are great also. Let's not get spooked up about that. God is the God of the gods. We are the gods. Let's take our rightful position and go head on and get our blessings. Brothers and sisters, I love you, I bless you, and I want you to prosper. And I'm giving you raw food for thought to give you some meaning and some direction to your journey. Happy new life, brothers and sisters. Happy new journey. Keep your lights on and keep them bright at all times. Do your best and let God do the rest. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold. And life is about the survival of the most fit. The more fit you are, the better chance you have to be here with balance. Have a great, great journey, brothers and sisters. Appreciate you. Have a blessed one. Dr. Sadiki, Baye, Raw Food for Thought. Peace.